All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast real estate tip. And today I want to walk you through how to build a well-rounded real estate business that will allow you to grow, will allow consistent revenue, consistent client flow, consistent revenue, regardless of the market. I don't care if the market is up, down, sideways, anything in between, how to go out there and continue to grow and scale. Or maybe you're like, hey man, I'm doing 50 units a year. I'm really happy with that. It provides a great living for me and my family, but you want to stay consistent with that. Okay, cool. So whether you want to continue to grow and scale, whether you want to stay consistent, but how do you do that? Regardless of the market, regardless of the economy, regardless of everything that's taking place, because it is possible. I have personally done it. My real estate business, while I was in production and running my team, it grew every single year for 20 years straight. And then during that time, man, I went through the two biggest booms. So 2005, biggest boom in recorded history at that point. That was followed by the great financial crisis, the worst housing market crash in recorded history. Then through COVID, then through the craziness that we saw post, that 2020, 2021, that craziness. Then, 2022, 2023, all the 2024, it's been a wild damn ride. In the 20 years that I've been in this industry. And how I was able to do this is not because I'm somebody special. It's not because I have some special gift. It's honestly because I had some great advice early on. In my career, I had a mentor that had decades of success before me, that had seen so many different things. The 87 crash, the dot-com bubble, 9/11, great financial crisis. And when you're in this game for a long enough period of time and you're operating at a very high level, you learn how to go out there and adapt. So that's what I want to walk you through here, because here's the thing that you can't do, right? Is you can't operate the same way today as you did 5 years ago, or sometimes even a year ago, and expect the same results. Like, shit changes, things shift, things change. And what I can promise you this, and I'm sure that all of you want to be here for the longevity, meaning that you want to have a long career, long-lasting career, or at least long enough lasting to be able to exit and do what you want to go out there and do. But over your career, you're going to experience different markets. You're going to experience different cycles. You're going to experience booms, busts, recessions, potentially, depressions, even though they don't call them depressions anymore, but, whatever. You're going to experience all these different things: buyer's markets, seller's markets, neutral markets. So we need to know how to adapt through those different things. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through several different things here today. So the first thing I want you to understand, this is kind of more of a mental framework to operate by, but understand the market is always good for somebody. I don't want you to ever operate by, like, the media will come out there and be like, oh, the market's good or the market's bad. Like, okay, great financial crisis. They're like, oh, this market's so terrible, it's so bad. Well, I had clients that market was amazing for. Investors, hedge funds, private equity firms that were swallowing up properties at 50 cents on the dollar. Like, it was amazing for them. Okay, if you were a homeowner that bought at a certain period of time, or pretty much any homeowner that was looking to sell during that time, yeah, it kind of sucked for you. Right? But then, okay, you fast forward to 2021. Look at that market. They're like, oh, that market's so good. The market's so hot. It's so good. Who is it good for? If you were a seller, if you were a buyer, it kind of sucked, right? Like, you had 100 offers on every single property. You were having to pay $100,000 above appraised value, waive the appraisal contingency, come out of pocket that appraisal gap. So you're paying over $100,000 over what the home actually even appraised for, what the market equity was, our market value on that property was for. Some cases having to waive inspection. Like, it freaking sucked if you were a buyer in that market, right? So here's what I want you to look at and think about is the market is always good for somebody. There is no such thing as a good market or a bad market. The market's always good for somebody. As a real estate professional, it is your job to identify whom the market is good for, pivot, shift, adapt accordingly with your marketing, prospecting, focus, energy efforts. Your business will continue to grow and expand regardless of the marketplace. Now, if you are a team leader or broker owner, it is your responsibility to lead your agents. Like, you signed up to be a leader. I talked to so many freaking broker owners, because about half of my coaching clients are brokerage owners. Broker owners, team leaders. So about 75%, I guess, are broker owners, team leaders, but about 50% of my coaching clients are broker owners, or at least over the last 10 years. And I'll hear them, or at least when we first start, like before we start the coaching relationship, I quickly correct them on this so they get it and understand it. But it's like, oh, like, I provide this, but it's my agent's job to go out there and do these other things. And I'm like, it's their job to execute. But you as the leader, like, you gotta deliver the path. You got to deliver the strategy. You got to, I'm not saying to go out there and execute for them, but it's my responsibility as a leader to make sure that my people, I got to point them to make sure they know the direction to go into and the options to go into, right? So even if you're a team leader broker on this, it's still extremely important for you to understand and know, even if you're not personally in production. Okay, so then from there, the other way that I kind of think about this is a science experiment. So you got the real estate itself. Now, you might have different niches that you focus on, but I'm just going to go through my example here in Phoenix Metro. So it's okay. Here's the Phoenix metropolitan area, the cities within Phoenix Metro that I work, or my team and I work. Okay, now the real estate, residential real estate, Phoenix Metro, that's kind of our broad niche, if you will. So then from there, my job as a real estate professional is to know, understand, and to be able to move my product, which is single family real estate in the Phoenix metropolitan area. That's the one constant. That's the control that doesn't change. That's the one constant. My whole entire career, there's new builds popping up, new ones, right? But you get what I'm saying. It's like the real estate, these subdivisions, this piece of real estate, that's the one constant that does not change. The variable that does change based on the market, based on the economy, based on what's going on, is who's buying it, who's selling it, why they're buying it, why they're selling it, where they're coming from, where they're going. That is the variable that changes. Like I got properties today, zip codes, subdivisions, the exact same property today that 9 years ago, I was selling to first-time home buyers. Now today, first-time home buyers are completely out of the market on those types of properties, and now it's the affluent. Right? So that variable can be changing. So it's okay. Our job is to know the real estate and move the real estate. So we got to then be able to pay attention and to identify, okay, who's buying, who's selling, why are they buying, why are they selling, where they're coming from, where are they going? All right, so I'm going to go deeper into this, but real quick before I do, make sure to go check out gsdmode.com for more additional free resources, more additional free training. And look, if you are a real estate agent, real estate team leader, real estate broker owner, and your business is not exactly where you want and need it to be, and if you would like my help in ensuring to help you get there 100% for free, I invite you to schedule a 100% free strategy coaching call, Zoom coaching call with me personally, where we're going to do a deep dive breakdown of where your business is currently at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals and visions are for your real estate business, what your current situation is, what your biggest obstacles are. Then from there, I'm going to map out, hey, if I were in your shoes, with you based on your circumstances, your situation, that you're going to go on, here's exactly what I would do to get from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, efficient, profitable manner possible. I promise you this, you will not leave this Zoom call without knowing exactly what you must do. We're going to eliminate all that guesswork where you're going to have full clarity on what you must do. Now, you're going to have to go out there and execute. I can't execute for you, but I'm going to make sure you know exactly what you must do to get from where you're at to where it is that you want to go. So something you want to take advantage of. I do not advertise these. It's just for my amazing GSD Mode podcast listeners, watchers. Is a way for me to thank you for all the support that you give me. So you can do that at www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call, right? Really easy. This is the GSD Mode podcast. So www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call, because this is a Zoom call. Okay, so let's just jump on into, again, going deeper into, okay, how do you stay well-rounded? We talked about the mental framework of this, understanding that the market's always good for somebody, they control the variable. So this is a quote that one of my first mentors gave me that served me extremely well that I want to share with you. He says to me, he goes, Josh, you want your business to always continue to grow and scale and expand regardless of what's going on with the economy, regardless of what's going on in the market, whether it's buyer's market, seller's market, boom, bust, crash, anything in between. It's like you get damn good at acquiring and servicing traditional buyers and sellers. Then you get damn good at acquiring and servicing investors. Then you get damn good at acquiring and servicing distress. So that's going to be like pre-foreclosures, notice of default, short sales, REO, foreclosure bank owned, right? So he's like, yeah, because it doesn't matter like what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the market. One of those is always going to be strong. There might be markets where they're all three popping, two of them are popping, one of them is just popping, the other two are slow. But it doesn't matter what's going on. If you know how to do those things, because again, like we talked about earlier, the real estate is the product that my job is to know the real estate, know the local area, the schools, the area, the real estate itself, the builders, the subdivisions. I need to know the real estate itself, right? And then my job is to move the real estate. So if you look at who's buying, who's selling, why they're buying, why they're selling, it's going to be within one of these kind of three different categories, based on what's going on with the economy. So get damn good at acquiring, servicing traditional buyers and sellers, damn good at acquiring, servicing investors, damn good at acquiring and servicing distressed REO, style properties. But then from there, then he followed up. He's like, then you got to get damn good at reading markets. So this way you're able to then know at what point do you need to pivot, shift, and adapt. Like we know as an example, and this isn't a perfect science. So, but they're just they're rough enough framework. It's a rough enough framework that I like to follow this. Okay, if it's under 3 months of inventory, we're talking a seller's market. So inventory absorption rate, same word or two different terms for the same meaning. But under 3 months means that, okay, you've got more buyer demand than you do listings available on the marketplace. And anytime, it all comes down to supply and demand, right? Anytime that you have more demand than you do supply, it's always going to drive up prices. Like I got 3 water bottles, but I got 10 thirsty people. Okay, well now whoever's selling those 3 water bottles can charge a premium because you only got 3 of the 10 that are going to get those. Yeah, right? So under 3 months, seller's market, that's where prices are going to start driving up. And then, of course, 2 months is going to be more extreme than 3. Prices go up that much further. Like what we saw during, let's just say 2021 in a lot of markets, including mine, like 2 weeks of inventory. It's just nuts. It's just a nuts time, right? Okay, so then we look at only 3 to 4 months is going to kind of a neutral market where you got like kind of neutral equilibrium of buyers versus sellers. Again, this isn't perfect, but this is just kind of what to watch for. Then, okay, we get beyond 4 months, start getting in that higher 4 month, 5 month plus, inventory rate. Okay, now we're starting to get into a pretty strong, pretty severe buyer's market, right? Which means there are way more listings than there are buyers available for those listings. So now we got 10 water bottles and only 3 buyers. So then, okay, those 10 water bottles the price is going to start coming down, right? Supply and demand. So if you look at like my market right now, if you look at January, now January is kind of an extreme. February's numbers aren't out yet because January, we always get that kind of new wave flood of new listings coming in. But if we just look at residential listings in my MLS, we had just over 11,000 hit the market in January, but we only had 5,000 closings. So that's like 6,000 more listings hit the market than we actually have closings and we actually have buyer demand for. Now, my guess is that's going to look more like not 6,000. We've been averaging about 3,000 to 4,000. But let's just say we're at 3,000. Homes every single month, more listings than we have closings than our buyer demand. Okay, well then all of a sudden, 12 months later, at 36,000, so we're at 36,000 homes on the market, or 36,000 additional homes, assuming that everybody left them on the market. No, nobody does. But, so like right now, I'm watching our market, and we just continue going up and up and up, right, on an inventory basis. So then, okay, based on that trend, I can start to identify, okay, should I be focused on buyers? Should I be focused on sellers? What type of buyers? And whatnot with that. Okay, so let me go through an example of this. 2005 to 2013, because this was kind of an extreme example. Again, with reading markets. So, okay, 2005 was very similar to 2021, multiple offers, every single property, so I jump in. But that was kind of like the end year. So 2005, I guess, was probably more like 2022, but it was kind of like the last year of the boom, right? But it was just craziness. Well, then all of a sudden, 2006, we started seeing things slow down. So, the same things that I'm doing, starting to see inventory rate go up, on a pretty, it was slower, progressive, but if you're paying attention, it's going up at a pretty rapid rate like it is right now, in my market. So then from there though, okay, I'm doing all the same things that I'm doing, but I'm getting slightly less business from those things. So then I'm assessing. I'm like, okay, is it something I'm doing wrong? Do I need to tweak this? Do I need to, and one of the sources I always go to is I really leverage my title companies. So if you work with, local escrow title companies or, whoever does your closings for you, because they see so much more volume. So I'm looking at, okay, well, what are you seeing? What are you seeing more of? What are you seeing less of? Well, we are seeing traditional business be less and less, but we're starting to see an increase in short sales. We're starting to see an increase in REO. That's what was starting to take place at that time. So I knew that traditional business was starting to come down. Now, here's the hard part about market transitions is it's going to take a little bit more work, right? So I'm still doing all the same energy, effort, the things I was doing for that traditional business, but at the same time, I knew I had to start learning short sales and REOs because those were slowly, progressively growing. This was starting to come down. These were going up. So I had to learn them. I had to start prospecting for them. I had to start breaking that niche, breaking that market, but then from there, okay, I broke into that market. That starts going slowly up. Traditional business starts going slowly down. And for the next, year and a half or so until 2008, when crap just went haywire and the market broke, Then all of a sudden it's like my business is like, I don't know, 15, 20% traditional, 80%, REO short sale. And at the peak of that, it's probably more like 90% REO short sale, 10% traditional. Doesn't mean I ever stop the traditional, because again, I'm going to keep that leg of my business live, right? Then going after, REO and short sale. Well, then all of a sudden I started seeing REO and short sale. In about 2011, 2012, this is starting to decline, like just less assignments, less available opportunities, whatever, but the traditional wasn't kicking up yet. So again, I'm meeting with title companies, meeting with my vendor reps, meeting with mentors, meeting with other people, seeing what's going on with the market, doing my due diligence around that. Well, at that time, we saw for really the first time in at least to my awareness and history, these big institutional investors like Invitation Homes coming and starting swallowing up properties, residential properties in our marketplace. So I'm like, okay, how do I now? So I had to learn that. How do I get in with institutional investors? How do I get in and service this? And how do I go, so then I had to learn that, get that going. So then, okay, like REO short sale, like my traditional business was staying stagnant. REO traditional or REO and short sale starting to come down. But then, okay, my investor, institutional investor business was going up and up and up. So then it replaced this, right? So those were, traditional business down, REO short sale down. Well, then now but I'm still doing those things. I'm not abandoning those. I'm still doing those things, maintaining those relationships. Because like I said, you know how to acquire and service those. So it's always a leg of my business I always want to have in play, even though sometimes one will be more skewed than the other. Well, then all of a sudden, in 2012, 2013, okay, investors started backing out. So that business started getting lower. But then traditional started picking up and up and up again. Right? So same thing there. So that was that was a huge extreme, but I like to use that to just articulate. Usually it's not that quick that what we had to go through there, but that's just an example of, okay, reading markets and paying attention and how to be well-rounded so our business continues to go up and up and up. People are like, oh, it's a lot of work. Well, it's a hell of a lot more work to struggle, to be broke, to have to shift careers, to have to go talk to your family members of how you weren't able to succeed in this business. The worst part about it is not even talking to your family members, it's looking yourself in the mirror, knowing that, you could have made this work, but you didn't do the work that was necessary. And it's really not that much work. It is not that difficult to, learn short sales. It's like, okay, like short sales, I'm able to figure it out in a freaking weekend. REOs, be able to figure it out very fast. Like this stuff isn't that difficult. It's not as difficult as most people think, when it comes to that. And we got a lot of organizations. One of the things that I've been really excited about, I didn't even know this when I joined the company that I just joined at EXP. They have their Revenos division where you can actually get certified in REO. You can get certified with investor business. You can get certified in these different things. And then they're going out, finding the business. It's not guaranteed, but there's insane amounts of assignments that are being handed out at a referral fee. Like I've always had to go out there and get this business myself, and I'm happy to do it. I've never had a brokerage that's actually went out there and done this for me though, and helped me do this and helped me try to grow this and help educate me on this, so you might want to check with your brokerage, see if they have something like EXP has at Revenos. If you're with EXP, check out Revenos because you have this. And I don't know if each division, because they have relocation, they have REO, they have the investors, so you can get in, with these big institutions and helping them acquire properties and list their properties, when it comes to those. And there's a referral fee and that's including those because, again, they're hiring manpower to go out there and develop these relationships and, make sure that you're trained properly and get these to you. But it's a way to go out there and get free business if you're able to go out there and get it. So, got nothing to lose, everything to gain, through something like Revenos when it comes to that. But this is, again, my recommendation to make sure that you are well-rounded, because your job is to move the product at hand. And you're going to have, this is where people talk about niches all the time. And I'm all about niching down, but where I niche differently than others. Some people just niche down with, I'm going to go after just this lead source or just this thing. Well, okay, those things can go away over time, or that thing can become non-effective. How I niche down is, okay, who is the best buyer and seller or subgroup of buyers and sellers for this given market? And I adapt and make them my niche for that time. So throughout my 20-year career, like I've had so many different types of buyers, sellers, investors, distressed that I've went after, because at different points of the market, there's been different accounts, different types of clientele that's been good for. And that's how I personally niche, right? Like I look, okay, my job is to move this product. Who's buying it? Who's selling it? That's always changing. Why they're buying it, why they're selling it, where they're coming from, where they're going. My niche is identifying, okay, who's buying it, who's moving it, who's buying it, who's selling it, and then go niche down and focus on them. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Again, make sure to check out gsdmode.com for more additional free resources, more additional free training. And if you want to learn more about a partnership with me personally at EXP, where you get all the amazing tools, training, support EXP offers, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Best brokerage hands down on the planet, in my opinion. That's why I'm there. Where you also get, again, amazing tools, services like Revenos that I've never seen a brokerage that goes out there and does so much for their agents to help them succeed. Guess that's why we have the highest producing agents out of any real estate brokerage in the country and sell more real estate than any brokerage in the country. But then on top of that, if you partner with us over at EXP, you also get all my coaching, mentorship, training 100% for free, along with my business partner, Mike Sherrard, and his Wolf Pack, where you get all his social media coaching, training, mentorship for free as well, in addition to all the amazing things that EXP offers. So whether you're an individual agent, team leader, broker owner, doesn't matter where you're located, we're all over the US, all over Canada, 24 total countries. Love to have a conversation with you. 100% confidential, zero pressure. My promise to you is I'm not going to try to recruit you. I'm just going to walk you through all the amazing things that we're doing, everything that we have. And if you think it's a fit for you, great. If not, that's okay too. But to do that, you can go to gsdmode.com/partner. Or if you just go to gsdmode.com, you're going to see a menu button link that says, partner with me at EXP to book that 30-minute Zoom call. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. Keep crushing, keep kicking ass. I will see you next time. Peace.